If you love your husband, but somewhere along the way you've lost your desire for sex, and that's left you feeling confused and maybe even a bit lonely, then this video is for you. Maybe you want him, but no longer do, and you don't know why. Maybe it's causing tension or conflict, but you don't know what to do about it. In today's video, I'm going to explain why this happens, why it doesn't mean anything is wrong with you, and most importantly, what you can actually do to get your intimate life back on track. Hi, I'm Laura, a relationship therapist and coach. I help couples build relationships that feel alive and fulfilling. If you're new here, welcome. A quick note before we start. This video is specifically for women in loving marriages with loving men, women who want sex but don't. If that's not you, then this video isn't for you. A significant decline in sexual desire after the honeymoon phase is one of the most common issues in marriage. There are genuine biological, hormonal, and neurochemical reasons for this drop in desire once the intensity of early love fades. A woman's desire becomes far more context-dependent than a man's and much more vulnerable to the pressures of modern life. It helps to think of men's libido like the ocean waves, a formidable and predictable force. Women's, by contrast, is more like the Great Barrier Reef, beautiful and delicate but highly contingent upon the right conditions to survive. There's nothing wrong with either. So this is completely normal, and it doesn't mean you don't love your husband or that there's anything wrong with you. But normal doesn't mean harmless. It's also normal to lose muscle mass in midlife, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't make an effort to mitigate the loss. If we want our lives to feel rich and our marriages to thrive, then our sex lives must be tended to. The difference between women who reclaim their sexuality and those who don't often boils down to one thing: whether they choose to make it a priority or not. This video urges you to do so. Here's a way I find genuinely helpful to think about it. Think of the various facets of your life, the things you need to nurture for a healthy and enjoyable existence, as a set of bars on a chart. Physical health, mental health, your children, finances, your career, and yes, your sex life. Every one of those bars has a score, and their combined total correlates closely with the overall quality of your life. I, for one, find this genuinely motivating. The idea I can constantly work on raising each bar a little higher, a bit more fitness, a bit more financial security, a deeper connection with my son, and a more meaningful sex life with my husband. Because make no mistake, the sex bar is as important as any other, and you have one. We all do. We're all sexual beings with sexual potential, whether we're tending to that part of ourselves or not. If culture has convinced you that a sexless marriage is no big deal and should have no impact on the quality of your life, I'm here to tell you unequivocally that you've been misled. I've never once witnessed a happy sexless marriage in which one partner truly needed that intimate connection to feel fulfilled. Not once. Sexually healthy people aren't arguing about whether sex is optional in marriage. They're simply getting on with it, not because they're being coerced or because they're bursting with desire, but because they understand it matters and they make space for it. I once heard it said that marriage without sex is like a disco without music, and I couldn't agree more. Sex is what sets a monogamous relationship apart from any other. So, when it disappears, there's often an awkward silence, because the covenant of monogamy itself is being undermined, and the impact is far-reaching. All forms of physical affection tend to disappear, emotional connection weakens, conflicts escalate, and what was once a loving partnership can start to feel like a cold, logistical arrangement. Not exactly what any of us dreamed of when we said, "I do." So, if your sex life is suffering, the question isn't, will my marriage be okay without sex? The question is, what's going on for me here? Because something is. A healthy person doesn't avoid exercise when they get out of shape. They get moving and their fitness improves. If you genuinely dread sex or actively avoid it, or if your body tenses up when your husband even tries to discuss it with you, it's time to work out what's really going on. So let's quickly cover some common basics. Sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen decline with age, after childbirth and during perimenopause and menopause. HRT can be a godsend for many women, so if you're open to it, speak to a reputable clinic for tailored support. Medications such as the contraceptive pill, antidepressants and blood pressure drugs are well-known libido suppressors. Check the labels and speak to your prescriber if you have concerns. Poor diet, lack of physical fitness, excessive alcohol, sleep deprivation and chronic stress all directly suppress hormones and libido. Fortunately, these are all fixable with targeted lifestyle changes. For women, relationship tension and desire can't meaningfully coexist. If your relationship is cold or tense, address those issues with support if needed. That said, if the lack of sex has been causing the tension, then the reintroduction of sex will likely resolve it. Either way, action is required. Early sexual experiences linked to discomfort or shame can leave a lasting mark, one that often lies dormant during the honeymoon phase, only to resurface later. Fortunately, this is healable, but it requires courage and typically some professional support. See the list of books on my website. Some women have absorbed cultural messages that a husband's need for sexual connection is trivial, something a wife can simply ignore or dismiss as an imposition. Reject these harmful ideologies, they do not serve your marriage. Once you've identified your block or blocks and started addressing them, the next question is more practical. How do you reignite a flame that's been dormant, possibly for years? Well, it starts with making peace with the fact that sex is an essential part of a healthy marriage. This means learning to become intentional about intimacy, much like a health-conscious person is about exercise. For example, I don't always wake up compelled to go for a run, but I value my health, so I put my shoes on regardless. Once I'm moving, I feel good and I'm always glad I set off. Sex works the same way. Desire follows engagement, and engagement is a choice. So the question isn't, do I feel like it, but rather, am I willing to begin? And to be very clear, I'm not talking about forcing yourself into unwanted sex. No one wants that, and it's harmful to both of you. What I'm suggesting is a conscious, consenting choice to engage for your own sexuality, for your husband, and for your marriage. It's a health choice, not blind compliance. Everything here hinges on personal agency and loving intent and assumes you're married to a supportive man who's with you on your journey. This has to be a team effort. Commonly, however, even the most willing women struggle with monitoring and judging their bodies instead of being fully present during sex. Added to this, the mental load of everything else vying for your attention can create so much head noise that relaxing into pleasure can feel impossible. The key is to get out of your head and bring your attention back into your body. Meaningful sex isn't forced or faked or goal-oriented. It comes from surrender. If you can fully relax into your body will do the work. Your head is not required. And if body image is holding you back, you'll be relieved to know that men constantly tell me it doesn't matter to them at all. Your husband isn't scrutinizing your body. He's thrilled at the chance to connect with you, his beautiful wife. So again, out of head, into body. That's your mantra. Okay, so that's all well and good in theory, but I hear you ask, what about time? We've got busy jobs, kids, and packed diaries. When on earth am I supposed to find time for sex? The truth is, most couples have more time available than they realise. If there's time for Netflix or scrolling, there's time for connection too. So turn off the screens, close the door on the day as early as you can, and prioritise intimacy with your husband. One of the therapist here at my practice, Zach, talks about creating a sacred space for intimacy, and I love this idea. The concept is simple. Certain environments signal to the unconscious that something different is happening. You can easily create a sacred space like this at home. Have a bath, light some candles, play some music, and just be together. You can simply begin with environment and proximity and allow yourselves to connect at a natural pace. And if scheduling intimacy feels silly or unromantic, I'd ask you to reconsider. Scheduled intimacy is infinitely better than no intimacy. For couples with full lives and full houses, it's often the only realistic option available. So, schedule at least one evening a week to create that sacred space together. It doesn't have to be all your intimate life involves, far from it, but if intimacy has been difficult, it's a great place to start. Okay, so we've talked about addressing blocks and making intimacy intentional, but that's not the same as wanting sex, which is the reason you're watching. So here's the thing. Over years of practice and in my own life, I've consistently observed that intentional intimacy within the context of a loving marriage often creates a positive feedback loop where desire naturally follows. It's like getting fit. You start feeling good, so your desire to exercise grows, or getting a handle on your finances. The sense of security motivates you to do more. Likewise, once the very real benefits of a rich sexual life become tangible, your desire to engage naturally increases. You begin to crave it, just like any other self-rewarding area of health you invest in. But this is all highly contingent on addressing the blocks I mentioned earlier. It doesn't matter how much you want sex. If you're not sleeping, not exercising, drinking too much, taking a ton of meds, or carrying unresolved resentment, the wanting won't materialize. Genuine sexual desire tends to flourish within a holistic, healthy lifestyle, underpinned by loving intent and decisive action until eventually it flows effortlessly. So, remember, ladies, your sex life is yours. It's a beautiful and unique part of what makes you the woman you are. If it's suffering, a part of you is suffering, and that's not something to minimize or ignore. A woman who's at ease in her sexuality is often getting a lot right in her life. She's in control of her health, connected to her body, and secure in herself. She understands that a life with a healthy sexuality is richer and more fulfilling than one without, and so she pursues it with intention. And all it requires, as with any other health transformation, is a decision and a commitment to acknowledge this matters, and so I'm going to make it happen. If you'd like some support to work through this with your husband, I run one-day couples intensives, a full day with me designed to identify your specific issues and give you both a clear path forward. The link is in the description. And if you're looking for ongoing support, you can reach out to me or my team at laurahowe.com. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I post new videos every week. And if you enjoyed this topic, then you might also enjoy this one, where I talk about what female libido really is and how to improve it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, to yourself and to others, tell the truth.